All praises. Kahla Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bahashem Rakah Kodash. All praises to the Most High. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. All praises, man. So, man, I know I haven't been on live for a minute, but I wanted to. I saw this debate, man, and I wanted to kind of touch on some things that what were not necessarily discussed on that debate. And one of the things, or the topic itself, right? What Christians, theologians, what they like to do is discredit the Israelite lineage. And um, what I don't see too many brothers do is actually go in on the actual lineage from the beginning, right? So you have a select lineage from the beginning selected by the Most High, and that lineage continues to the end of the book, man. Okay, so what? And I heard this argument, and what Christians will do is they'll say, well, you know, uh, 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 Israelites did not exist prior to Jacob. And what you Israelites got to do is you got to say, yeah, that's true. It is completely true. However, Yasha Allah or Yasharal, well, however you want to pronounce it, Israel, right, is synonymous for the sons of God or the sons of Yahweh. And we're gonna get into that. I haven't really I haven't wrote anything down, but what I'm gonna do is go to a couple of scriptures for you to let you know how we dealt with each other within our nation, only our nation, and in addition, how the Most High has always tracked the lineage of Israel since Adam. Okay, and it's always been like that, and it's a lineage that is blessed by the Most High. Okay, so I'm gonna just go into a couple things, right? So we can start it from the top, man. Okay, we can start off in Genesis. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Genesis 1. Let me share my screen here real quick. All praises to the Most High. There we go. All praises. Okay. So now we know Genesis 1, right? The creation. All right. Now, when we go down to verse 27, I believe. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, 26. Let's start at verse 26. Okay. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, and verse 26. And it reads, and God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27. Here's the point. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. He, being the creator, created them. Right? Verse 28. And the Most High blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the seas, and over the fowls of the airs, and over every living creature, so like every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So here's the point. So we see that the Most High created man here, right? But let's go to chapter 2. So we go here to chapter 2. Okay. Chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work. Okay, that's the only word or the only detailed um, name of the week we have is Shabbat, which is the seventh day of rest. Okay, and verse 3, and God blessed the seventh day, and He did what? Sanctified it, because that in it He rested from all His work which He had created and made. So now we know that man was created. We know that the earth was created. We know that the creatures were created. We know that everything was created because this is the Shabbat day. Okay. So being that and it says it right here, he sanctified it because he did what? Rested from all his work. So the Most High is not creating man anymore. Man was already created. Okay. So now let's jump down to verse 7. And it reads, and Yahweh, our God, formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So now you have to understand this is a man that was selected by the Lord, and he did what? He blew breath into him, which are the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And let's grab that. Let me prove that. All right. Everything that we're saying, we're going to prove according to the Bible. Okay. So this is the book of Baruch, chapter 4. I'm gonna grab it real quick. Okay. There we go. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see that. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life. But as such as leave it shall what? Die. There is a death and a life in this. Here's the point, verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, take heed, walk in the presence of the light thereof, so that thou may be illuminated. Okay. Verse 3, give not thy honor unto another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. So this is specific to the nation of Israel, Jacob. We see it here. And what gives us life is the commandments. So when we go back, Salakia, when we go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 7, he said, and God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. That's the commandments. That's the instructions that the Most High gave us. And that is the law, the obedience to God. That's what gives us life. Okay. That's what helps us. That's what teaches us. That's your moral compass is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Okay. So understand that a lot of what the Christian church teaches you is incorrect according to the Bible. Okay. The breath of life is the obedience of God. Okay. So that is very important to understand. So now this is a man who was selected by the Most High. Okay. So let's prove that. Let's go to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 54. Okay. Now remember, our stance on this, so that y'all understand, our stance is, let me share this. Okay. Boom. Our stance is that the Most High created man and woman in chapter 1. However, he selected his people in chapter 2. How do we know that? The Bible tells us so. Let's read that. Second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. Let's start at verse 53. Upon the sixth day thou gavest the commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth the beast and cattle and the creeping things. Verse 54. And after all these, Adam also, which thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. You see that? So now understand that Adam was created, but the chosen Adamite was the one that he gave the instructions and the law, statutes, and commandments to. Okay. A chosen people were selected from Adam. So you cannot just say, "Oh, yeah, the Israelites were selected, but nobody was selected before them." That's BS. That does not exist in the Bible. That is lying on the scriptures. Okay, verse 55. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Okay, I'm just verse 56. As for the other people which also come from Adam, thou hast said, they are nothing but unto like spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop of falleth from a vessel. Okay. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy one begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given unto their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance of the world? How long shall this endure? So this is the answer to, even though other come from Adam, a selected God, a godly people come from Adam. Here's another. Let's continue in Genesis, man. Watch this. Let's go to Genesis 5. Okay. Genesis chapter 5 and verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Notice that all this is lining up. All this lines up to Genesis 1, 2nd Ezra 6. All this lines up. Okay. Um, Verse 2, male and female created he them and blessed them and called the name Adam in the day that they were created. And Adam lived 130 years old and begat a son in his own likeness after the image called Seth. You see that? And in the days Adam, he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. So now we have a lineage of Seth on here. Okay. So where would we also read that as well? Let's go to Luke, Luke chapter 3. This is the lineage of Yahweh Mashiach, Christ, okay? And his lineage goes all the way back to the Adam that was selected. So the Adam that was selected was a particular people, a nation that literally came out of Israel, which he came out of the lineage of Judah, right? And we'll grab that later. But to solidify this, this is Luke, right? Here, let me share my screen. Okay. This is Luke chapter 3 and verse 36. And it reads, which is the son of Canaan, which is the son of Aphazad, which is the son of Sem, which is the son of Noah, which is the son of Lamech, which is the son of Malusala, which is the son of Enoch, which is the son of Jerad, which is the son of Maleliel, excuse me, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth. We just read that in Genesis 5, which is the son of Adam. Look at this, which is the son of God. So the sons of God were there. And like we read in Second Ezra, not all sons of God, not all were selected by the Adamites. Only the sons of God were selected. Watch this. Let's go to Genesis 6. So now you know what the sons of God are. Now with that context, let's see what Genesis 6 is talking about. Okay? So now this is Genesis 6 and verse 1. And it came to pass when man begat to multiply upon the face of the earth, and daughters were born of them. Notice it says, when men, watch this, verse 2. And the sons of God, remember who we solidify what the Bible says the sons of God are. Okay? Saw the daughters of men. These are two different lineages. These are the sons of God and the daughters of men. This is interracial marriage. That they were fair, and they took them wives which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man, for that he is also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120. And this is what the Most High did disliked. How do we know that? Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thought of his heart was only evil continually. Okay. And this is what the Most High did not want us to do. He did not want us to have interracial marriage, and we did, the sons of God and the daughters of men. A clear distinction of who the son. Now we also read that the sons of God are also the angels. However, the sons of God are also Israel. How do we know that? It says it here. We proved it in the lineage. We're also going to prove it in the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 22. Watch this. So this is Exodus 4 and verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, my firstborn. You see that? So the sons of God are Israel. Okay? The chosen is Israel. Period. Okay. All right. So this is the proving the lineage. All right. And then also said I was going to prove how Christ himself said that he came from the lineage of David, which was the lineage of David, or excuse me, David, lineage of Judah. Okay. Da, 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 da. Is that what I want? Da, 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 da. Yeah, Romans 1. Let's just do Romans 1 and 3. How about that? We'll do Romans 1 and 3 because that says the same thing. All right. This is the book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 3. And it reads, concerning his son, Yahweh Mashiach, our Adawan, which was made of the seed of David. What? According to the flesh. Watch this. Look at this. Verse 4. And declared to be the Son of God with power according to the Spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead. Okay. Again, proving that, we are the sons of God, Israel, and that lineage was from the beginning connected to Israel, connected to Christ, connected to the Israelites and the 12 tribes of Israel will always be there. All right. So with that, I want to say, Kahala Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, all praise to the Most High. Shalom, Israel.